Hello everybody and welcome back. I have a fun video for you guys today. I thought of this idea around a month ago, but it took me a while to finalize my list. But I'm going to be talking about my #1 favorite product from most brands I own. I did exclude a couple just because I wanted to focus on the brands that I tried a majority of their products in their lineup instead of the ones that I only tried 1 or 2 products from. And that also leaves room for a part 2 if you guys enjoyed today's video. But that's the gist of it. So before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Yeah, I'm going to be approaching this video with a little bit of chaotic energy. I couldn't figure out a way to go about this. I couldn't categorize it in any way. I almost went alphabetically, but I'm just gonna go with whatever is closest to me. I'm going to start with one of the brands that gave me the most trouble though, and that was KOSAS. I have so many favorites from the brand. I was thinking it was going to be the Jellyfish Gloss, or maybe the Cream Duo in Tropic Equinox, or the brow products, or the concealer, but I ended up going with the Cloud Set powder just because I look at this product so differently from the other products, and I also use this one much more than anything else from the brand. I use this pretty much on a daily basis now. It's my favorite setting powder if I want to blur out my pores in the center of my face. It's great if you want to set your face but you don't want your face to look set with powder, if that makes any sense. It still allows your skin to glow underneath of it, and it doesn't look dry or matte at all. I also look at this powder as a makeup fixer and saver. It's one of my favorites to turn to if I need to touch up my base during the day, if I'm starting to look a little bit oily, or if I apply way too much blush. I like applying a little layer of this over top, and it takes down the blush the perfect amount. So not only is it great at setting my makeup, it saves my makeup as well. I use the shade Feathery. Also, I can't get the video of them creating this product out of my mind. I'll screen record it and put it here, but it's so cute and unexpected. I didn't think that's how this was pressed or anything like that, but I was surely impressed by that video. It stays in my mind forever. I don't know why. Another brand that gave me a lot of trouble was Mel Cosmetics. Now, I think I spent like half an hour pondering on which product to go to. Mel Cosmetics has got to be one of my favorite brands. I think there's only 1 or 2 products that I don't get along with. One that comes to mind is the Cuddle Face Balm, and that's just because it wasn't created with my skin type in mind. But it was hard for me to choose because I love so many of their products, like the brow cream, the cushion foundation, the serum blushes, the So Soft collection, the lip cushions, the lip clouds, the everything. Pretty much everything from the brand are huge favorites of mine, but I ended up going with the Heaven's Glow blushes this time around. I just love these blushes, and I feel like a majority of people will really love them if they tried them, and the colors are just so beautiful. I love how they're a really sheer kind of lightweight powder blush, and once they're on your cheeks they don't really look powdery at all. They have a lot of dimension to them. I just love how the pearl is so micro fine in here, so it amplifies the light beautifully without like enhancing the look of your pores. It also is a formula that kind of blurs out your skin as well, which is really interesting, especially for a product that has shimmer in it. I'm wearing the shade Rococo on my cheeks today. This is one of the newest shades that they came out with. It's just a gorgeous color. I love every single shade that they offer right now. They just hold an extra special spot in my heart. The next brand is Rare Beauty. This was a very easy decision for me, although I do love a lot of the products that they offer. I landed on the mascara because this mascara has every quality I look for when it comes to mascaras. It's volumizing, it's lengthening, it's long wearing, it doesn't smudge, flake, or do any of the annoying mascara problems. And it's also extremely quick to apply. I can get my mascara done in a minute or so. And I feel like it's just getting better day by day as it's aging in my collection. This is a mascara that I see myself repurchasing over and over and over again. It's just a classic, and I've never felt this way about a mascara. So this was the easiest decision. I didn't even have to think twice on it. Next brand is Huda Beauty. Now Huda Beauty, I feel hot and cold with. I either love the products or I hate the products. So this was an easier decision for me to make. And my favorite product from them right now is the Glowish Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder. I use the shade 02 Medium, but this is such an easy bronzer to love. It just adds such a nice natural looking bronze to your skin. It also has quite a bit of luminosity, but the pearlescence is like invisible, but you can still see it adding dimension to your face. It just looks ultra natural. The shades are really, really nice. I've said this many times before, but this is one of the bronzers I reach for if I'm in a rush, because no matter how sloppily I apply this, it always looks perfectly blended. It just feels unique. It sticks out to me with all of the bronzers I have in my collection. There's just something so special about this to me, and it has quickly become one of my most used bronzers in my collection. Highly recommend this one if you are more of a natural leaning base product person. The next brand I'm going to be talking about is LYS, and this was the easiest decision I had to make for this video, and my favorite product from them is the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I think this is my #1 favorite medium to full coverage foundation. It's just so easy to work with, so easy to wear. It just looks incredible every time I use it. It's fuss free. It works with all of the products I use underneath or on top of it. It just makes applying and deciding on foundations easy for me, and that's all I can ask for. It's just incredible through and through, and I love its finish because it has kind of a more natural, dewy look. It's not too dewy, so it's not going to get uncomfortable during the day, or it's not going to feel heavy. It just feels good for your skin, if that makes sense. And I know there are quite a few skincare benefits towards this, but I just find it to be one of the most beautiful foundations that has graced my face. Love this stuff, and I'm so excited to try out the concealer, you guys. I have been stalking my mailman. Next brand is Patrick Ta, and I think this was an easier decision I had to make, although I love all of the products I own from his brand so far. My #1 favorite is for sure the blush duos. I mean, come on, I feel like this is such a me product, and I just love its versatility, and the shades that he comes out with are just stunning. I have 2 of the duos, and I also have the palette that he came out with this past holiday season. He actually just launched like duos like this in every color in this palette, and he also launched 1 new shade as well. Yes, it's already in my Sephora basket, so it's for sure that this was a limited edition thing, but thankfully you can get each duo on its own if you really, really want to, or if there's one shade that you liked in here, perfect, then you win. But I just love, love, love this formula. I think the cream side is so beautiful, and the powder side is gorgeous on its own as well. But I just love experimenting with layering either formula on top of one another, because every which way you do it, it works. He suggests you going in with the powder first with a brush, and then going in with a thin layer of the cream with a sponge on top to lock in that pigment from the powder and to add like a natural sheen to your cheeks. I just get so hyped and so excited to use these things, and as you can tell, I'm like lighting up talking about them. They're just very special pieces I have in my collection, and I'm kind of addicted to collecting all the colors. It's not great. Now let's talk about Mel Cosmetics. This might be a bit surprising to some, but I went ahead and picked the lip liners. I have been using these pretty much every day since I received the collection. I was kind of surprised when I landed on these as well, because I love so many things from Mel Cosmetics. Like, of course, the eyeshadow palettes are iconic. I love the gel cream eyeliner pot and the cream blush lights as well, but these I have been using every single day. I'm just in love with the tones that they came out with. I love the longevity of the pencils. They're super creamy, and I also love how the packaging matches the color on the inside, so they just stand out compared to a lot of my lip liners I have in my collection in like black packaging. They're just easy to spot, easy to use, and I just love them, and I hope that they come out with more shades as well, but the shades that they do have right now are pretty perfect. I just want to be selfish, and I just want every color under the sun, you know? I freaking love lip liner. Speaking of, I just took a peek and I feel like I need to retouch my lips up a little bit. I'm using the shade Cinnamon today. It's one of my favorites to pair with the next product I'm going to be talking about, which is from Dior. I've tried quite a few things from the brand, but nothing stands out to me as much as the lip glow oil, specifically in the shade 012 Rosewood. This one I just love. I feel like I could also go for a little bit more on my lips. It's just such a pretty, soft rose shade, which has a lot of brown in it as well, which suits a lot of the other tones I go in with on my face. I used to have a few other of the shades, but this one actually adds a little tint to your lips, which most of the other ones I had just were clear, but they looked kind of fun in the packaging. This one actually does something unique, therefore it stands out to me. But it's such a nice, comfortable formula to wear. It adds a lot of shine. It also smells really nice. It smells kind of minty, so that could be a pro or a con depending on your preferences. I also love its doe foot applicator. It just hugs your lips so nicely, and it's nice and big, but it doesn't pick up too much product, so it doesn't overwhelm your lips at all. It just spreads it out nicely and always adds the perfect amount of product. This has been a favorite of mine for a couple years now, and I have entered into another kind of phase with it recently. It's such a pretty combo with the cinnamon lip liner from Mel Cosmetics. Next up, let's talk about Quo Beauty. Now, I've liked a lot of their products, but I feel like there's one that's truly worth it, especially if you want something from Gucci, and that is the bronzer. To me, this is such a special product, and if you want to splurge and get something with like a brand name, but it being kind of more affordable, instead of you picking up like a pair of shoes or a purse or a clothing item, I think this is more approachable in a sense, and you still get the Gucci flair. Like, it's so extra but beautiful, and the formula inside matches its outer beauty. It's very easy to use, and you only need such a tiny amount, which is good because you'll have your money's worth in here. You'll have this for so long. The blendability is great. The longevity is great. It just feels very high-end and quality, which is obviously what you want when you're paying such a hefty price tag for something from Gucci. This is by far the product that stands out to me the most from Quo Beauty, and the only one that I would truly recommend if you were wanting something from the brand. Now let's talk about UNDONE Beauty. This has been a brand that I have recently fallen in love with in the last couple of months. This one took me a couple minutes to decide on, but I ended up going with the Unfoundation Matte Tint. This is the product I use and gravitate towards the most out of the entire lineup. It just always looks really nice. It's the perfect amount of coverage for kind of a tinted moisturizer. It's also a really reliable finish, and I know how it's going to wear. It always looks super seamless and skin-like. Whenever I wear this one, I don't even feel like I'm wearing a foundation, nor does it even look it. Sometimes when I'm wearing this, I forget that I have makeup on. It's that awesome. And this is another one that's fuss-free, so it works really well with other products. And I have been enjoying the matte tint a little bit more since I do have an oilier complexion. The glow tint is beautiful as well. It just depends what you're going for. And it's not so matte compared to what you usually think of when you're thinking of matte products. It's just like a velvety matte, so there's still like a little luminosity there. It doesn't cut off all the shine or take all of the moisture out of your skin. It's very comfortable and just overall gorgeous. Now let's talk Pat McGrath. This is a brand that I wanted to mention something more fun, but I of course am going to be mentioning once again I read the back as if there's a remnants of the sticker. It's all rubbed off, but this is the under eye blurring powder. This obviously is a huge love of mine. I use it in nearly every video. If you haven't tried this already, what are you doing? It's just a miracle product for my under eyes. It blurs them out, it works with all of the concealers, and it also fixes any concealer mistakes for the most part. There's just something so special about this one. And when you feel it, it's like insanely soft. It's so soft, it's like petting a cat behind its ear, you know? They have that extra soft spot there. That's what it reminds me of. It's just the best under eye powder ever. I feel like I don't need to spend all day convincing you guys how much I love this. I feel like this speaks for itself. But if you don't want to pay the hefty price tag of a Pat McGrath product, the next one is pretty much an identical dupe in my opinion, and that is the Annabelle Perfect Matte Powder. This is my favorite product from Annabelle. I was so excited for this find. I just find this one to be not as long wearing, I think, as the Pat McGrath one, but that's no big deal to carry this one around in your purse or anything like that to touch it up because it's really thin packaging. And in this one, I don't feel shy on applying it all over my face. It's great to blur out any pores and it keeps them looking blurred. It doesn't get cracked or cakey at all throughout the day. And I wear this one out quite often, and in flash photography situations this one does not flash back. Now let's talk about Iconic London. This is another one of those brands that I either love or hate their releases, but this is one of my favorite products in general. This is the Radiance Booster. It's such a gorgeous under foundation highlight or over foundation highlight. I use it in a variety of ways, but it's just a very natural looking sheen. I swatched it right there. You can see it. I use the shade Champagne Glow, but it's really pretty. The pearlescence in here is so ultra fine. You can't even detect any of the pearls, nor does it look glittery. It also has a really nice kind of balmy texture when you're applying it. So it feels really nice and hydrating, but it does eventually kind of set down to a creamy state. It doesn't remain feeling very dewy and balmy for long. I just love its texture when you're blending it out because it doesn't feel like it's going to set up on you or get patchy throughout the application process. This one has replaced my love for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, and this one doesn't break me out, which thank God. Speaking of Charlotte Tilbury, I'll talk about her next. The product I landed on was the contour wand, just because I've had this product the longest in my collection. And I've also had a couple of them throughout my makeup life. This has been a collection staple. It always looks gorgeous. It's very easy to blend out. I love how fuss-free it is as well. You don't have to worry about it getting splotchy, or you don't have to worry about it drying up on your skin while you're blending it out. The only thing I dislike about this product is the packaging. I recently yoinked the little spongy tip off because it was kind of grossing me out. I was worried it was harboring bacteria in there because I have had this one for quite a few years now. So I yoinked it off. It still works the same. I just dot it on in the same way I would with the sponge. I just make sure to wipe the tip off after each use. So it's fine that way, but I do find this packaging to get really, really messy quickly if you're not careful and you don't keep up with the wiping. Gorgeous product. Such a staple of mine. I couldn't see this out of my collection. So now let's talk about Milk makeup. This one might be a little surprising to some of you perhaps. It is the Milk Hydro Grip spray. I thought I was going to include the Hydro Grip primer because that has been such a staple of mine for years now. It still is one of my staples, but what I realized is that I use the spray far more than the primer. I go through phases with the primer. I either use it in the summer when my skin is quite a bit more oily, or if I'm in a tropical climate and I need my makeup to stay in a more humid area, or if I want my makeup to last all day if I have a really long day ahead of me. But I actually use this pretty much on a daily basis. It's weird that I don't use it as often in videos. I always forget to spray my face in videos. I feel like I need to do better at that section because whenever I'm doing my makeup off camera, I almost always use the spray, and it's almost always this one. It's my favorite spray for longevity. It's like makeup hairspray, and it's a good one to turn to if you want to refresh your skin as well. And it's great if you apply too much powder or if your skin is just looking a little heavy. I just add a couple spritzes of this and it'll make my skin look like skin again. Never thought the day would come that this would beat my love for the Hydro Grip primer, but here we are. Now let's talk about Makeup Forever. This is for sure my favorite product from them. I recently ordered a new shade. I'm excited for it to come in, but this is the Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. You can use this pencil in a multitude of ways. You can use it on your eyes, around your lips. I use this shade specifically on my lips. I've never used it on my eyes. I don't know why. I feel like it would actually be a really cute monochromatic moment. I'll have to try it. I love, love, love this color. It's one of those colors that I can use with nearly every lip color I'm going in with. It's a perfect kind of soft, pinky, neutral brown that's close-ish to my skin tone, so it just flatters nearly anything. It's such an easy formula to wear. I really love the packaging, how it's in this wood pencil. I don't know, I feel like it looks very organic and just pretty. I've had this for so long, but I still have that like new excitement for it, as if it was like a new product in my collection. I don't know. I just freaking love it. Now let's talk about Wet n Wild. My favorite product from them is the Impossible Primer. This is one of the best makeup primers I have come across yet. It's awesome. It has so many claims and it truly lives up to all of them as well. It does so much for me. This one mattifies, hydrates, blurs pores, and it preps makeup for lasting makeup, and it's also silicone free, which is awesome because it blurs just like one. So I don't know the technology there, but it's magical, and it truly does grip down my makeup so it lasts a very long time, and I feel like a majority of people would really get along with this one. Let's talk about L'Oreal Paris. I have tried quite a few things from them, but my number one favorite is for sure the True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. This is gorgeous. It does so many beautiful things and I love all of it. This is one of the only tinted moisturizers that has a pearlescence included that I actually enjoy. It doesn't enhance texture whatsoever. It does amplify the light in the most beautiful way, and it's also very comfortable to wear. And for a tinted serum, it does have quite a bit of coverage. I would say that this is almost more like an actual foundation with a light to medium coverage, and they do have a really great shade range for the drugstore. It's beautiful and very long wearing, and it collaborates with a lot of products beautifully. I think this will be a favorite of mine for years to come, and I think it's finally starting to pick up hype. I've been seeing it a lot on TikTok recently, and I'm like, it's about time, you guys. Now let's talk about Quo Beauty. Quo Beauty is a Canadian drugstore brand, and my favorite product from them is the Featherweight Cream Blush. This is kind of a Glossier Cloud Paint dupe, or they mimicked it, whatever you want to say, but I actually prefer this formula over the Cloud Paints just because it's a bit more emollient, so it's easier to blend out, and it does have quite a bit more glow, whereas the Cloud Paints kind of set up on you. I believe they're water-based, so you just don't get as much work time, but I really love this specific shade as well. This is the shade Pure 59. It's a gorgeous kind of soft brown nude bronzy shade for lighter skin tones. Here it is. It's so cute. It's just an easy blush to turn to if you don't know what to pair your eye or lip combo with. It's just a effortless blush to use, and I love it. Now let's talk about Danielle Myricks. I have so many favorites from the brand, but I just had to land on this one here. It's the color fixes. I think these are fantastic and so versatile. She has every shade, even neon ones, and she also has multiple finishes in the color fixes, from duochromes to triochromes to metallics to satins to mattes. It's incredible, but you can use these in a variety of ways as well. I like to use the specific ones I have just on my eyes. They're very nice to go to for like a one and done all over flush of color, or you can also use them as eyeliners or bases. I have used them in all those ways, and it's fantastic every time. Some of my favorite shades are the Color Fix Nudes, specifically the ones Nude 8, Nude 9, and Nude 10. I have Nude 8 and 10 in my hands right now. They're just nice warm browns. Moving on to NARS, this was very easy for me to choose. My favorite product from them is for sure the Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balms, specifically in the shade Intimate or Brief Encounter. I don't have either shades with me right now. They're somewhere else. I don't know where. I'm kind of panicking about it, but I'm just gonna hope that they're somewhere around my house or in a pocket of mine somewhere and I didn't lose them. But this formula is so gorgeous. It's kind of similar if you have tried the Glossier Generation G's, but these are far more creamy and far more comfortable to wear, and you get a little bit more pigment, but they're that similar kind of vibe. They're hydrating, but they look matte. It's just a really interesting formula. It stands out to me so much, and the colors are gorgeous. These have been my number one favorite for a very long time from NARS. Let's talk about Natasha Denona, and it still is the Biba palette. Whenever I think of Natasha Denona, I think of this palette. This to me is the perfect natural palette. You get your three tonal families here and it's perfect. This is what I'm wearing for eyeshadow today. I mixed Seed, Cocoa, and Freckle, and I did a nice wash all over my eye. It's just perfect. I use this so much when I'm not filming. I need to bring it out on my channel more. I feel like I've put so many people on this palette. I need to create more looks with this, but it's just fantastic and very easy to use. The formula is extremely user-friendly, but also I find that it sets itself off from a lot of other eyeshadow brands. I don't know, I just freaking love this thing, and it's been my favorite neutral eyeshadow palette for a couple years now. Now let's talk about Fenty Beauty. This is kind of a boring selection, but it truly fixed an issue I was having in my makeup routine and it is the Fenty Beauty eye primer. This solved my creasing issue and I haven't really looked back. Although I have been using the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer a lot this year, this still is my #1 favorite just because it adds such a great barrier for my oily lids. There was a while there before this came into my life that I wasn't really able to wear eyeshadow for a long period of time because it would always crease, but this product snapped that issue away and I no longer have to deal with that. It's just so reliable, and if you deal with a similar problem, I would highly suggest you trying this one out because it solved such a big issue for me. I will say that this was a very close tie to the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops, but I use this far more than the Ease Drops. Now let's go on to a makeup classic, which is MAC Cosmetics, and this one was fairly easy. I feel like I have a lot of nostalgia connected to the brand, but my #1 favorite from them is for sure their Powder Kiss lipsticks. These are my 4 favorite shades. I'll quickly swatch them on the back of my hand. But I use these lipsticks so often. They're gorgeous, they're blurring, they're super comfortable, and I just adore the specific shades I have. Oh, did I swatch the same color twice, or are they that similar? No, they're not. So right here is Teddy 2.0. The second one is Stay Curious. This one is Marrakesh Mirror. And the last one here is Devoted to Chili. So they're kind of in the same color group, just at different intensities. Some of them are more pinky based and some of them are more orange based, but they're so pretty and they are for sure my most used product from MAC. They remind me heavily of a lot of Quo Beauty lip products, so they have that kind of soft feel when you rub your lips together. I just love how comfortable it makes wearing them, and their longevity is quite good for a bullet lipstick, for one that doesn't like set down or stain at all. Let's move on to Tower 28. I love a lot of their products, but where my love lies the most is still within their glosses. I just love how dramatic of an effect you get with these glosses. If you want that super glass-like effect to your lips, go towards these, and they're not sticky. They feel more like a lip oil almost. They're super comfortable and slippy on your lips, and they don't migrate all over as well for something that looks thicker when they're on your lips. I also love the tinted ones as well because they have a perfect amount of pigment in them where it actually tints your lips but still looks glossy. My favorite colors are Chill, which is the clear one, pretty universal, and you can layer this over any color ever. My second favorite is Cashew. I've gone through quite a few cashews. And my last favorite is Spicy. I love this one during the summertime, especially when I have a little bit of a tan. I think it's so cute. But yes, still my favorite product from Tower 28. Let's talk about Sur Makeup by Mario. This is to be expected, but it's still the Master Pigment Pro pencils, specifically in the shade Soft Brown and Black, and also Perfect Brown. I actually like all of them, but those 3 are my most used. They're just perfect pencils. I can do anything I want eyeliner wise with this. I can blend them out, I can throw them into my waterline, I can create really sharp eyeliners with them without it gliding or crumbling or fading away. They're just very easy and user-friendly to use. Soft Brown is pretty much the embodiment of my everyday go-to look. I have been obsessed with this pencil for a very long time. I feel like I would be lost without this one. My everyday makeup routine wouldn't be the same. So dramatic and unnecessary, but I freaking love it. Now let's talk about Nabla. I have had quite a few favorites from the brand over the years, but my favorite has got to be the Cupid's Arrow full color stylos, specifically the black one, which is Arrow number 4, and Arrow number 5, which is this very soft brown, which has been kind of a newer discovery in my collection, but it's really pretty. I just love how easy these are to work with. I go towards these when I'm doing kind of more smoky looks. They're very easy to blend and you get a lot of work time. Like, look how easy this is. And it also shears out quite a bit, so when you're doing smoky eye looks, this is really nice to look for because you'll be able to really control the product and you won't overload your eyes with pigment. These are just easy to use. They have great longevity, but my favorite thing about them is their smudgeability. Is that a word? If not, it's my word now. I made it up. Now for e.l.f. Cosmetics, I was just going to say the putty lineup in general, but that isn't very truthful. There's some of the putty products that aren't my favorite, like the eyeshadow primer and some of the face primers. So I did end up landing on this one because I've used it the most, obviously. This is the Acne Fighting Putty Primer. This one's my favorite out of the face ones. I think it does help me prevent acne, perhaps, but I also like how hydrating this one is for my oilier skin. It hydrates my skin the perfect amount, so it makes my foundations glide on very nicely. It also softly blurs out my skin, and I feel like it grips onto my makeup really nicely as well. I don't go towards this one for its skincare benefits just because I don't wear makeup every day. I mostly go for that soft blur effect, the hydration, and the hold it offers onto my makeup. Now let's talk about SAIE Beauty. I was going to maybe skip out on them because I haven't tried so many of their products, but I've tried a handful, probably around 5, but my favorite product so far has been the Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. This is what I wanted the Chanel bronzer to be like. This one blends so nicely. The color is gorgeous. I like how this one is quite warm for my skin. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. I like how it's warm, but it still has that kind of neutral contour color to it. So I think it's very flattering, especially for my skin tone in the winter time. I see myself using this a ton. It blends out beautifully, but it has a really nice sheer coverage. So it doesn't add like a streak of coverage when you're applying it. It's quite sheer, but it's still pigmented enough to look like a bronzer, and it does something. Does that make sense? I feel like I kind of just word vomited there, but I hope that makes sense. So all in all, it's very easy to use, it's reliable, it's gorgeous, it's unique, and I love it. And I actually like using this on my no makeup days or on my full face glam days. I don't really say glam, but you know, like today, I have a lot of makeup on, but it's still flattering for this look. So following up with that is Ilia. I think I've tried every single product of theirs, if I'm not mistaken, but this has been my favorite product from them for so long. It's the Decades Daylight Highlighting Powder. This is my favorite powder highlight. It adds such gorgeous luminosity without being very glittery, and it also has a very sheer pearl to it. I just love how it amplifies the light in such a flattering way. It doesn't grab onto any texture. It just sinks right in as if it was a cream. It blends out and polishes so beautifully, and it wears gorgeously as well since it is a powder. It has everything I want in a powder highlight and more. A little bit of it goes such a long way. I've had this for a couple years, and you can just see like a little minor dent right in the center where I dip my brush in always. It's crazy. Okay, we have 2 more brands to go. The next one is Glossier. Now this took me a minute because I was like, am I sure on this decision? But I was like, you know what? Yeah, I am sure. It's the Boy Brow. This was the first product I purchased from them many years ago. I think upwards of 5 years already, and I still have it roaming around in my collection. I still use it a ton, so that's just a sign of a quality product. I don't see it not being a part of my collection. It offers my brows so much hold. It's super quick to apply, and it fills in my brows when I want more of a lazy brow day. And I've actually been using it even more now. I almost always go in with a pencil, but now that I have bangs, I feel like I don't have to pay attention to my brows as closely because the bangs break it up and you don't even really pay attention to them. So this is the perfect lazy product for me. I like the tinted one better than the clear one just because I like how it makes my brows kind of more bushy like, and it also tints them kind of like a mascara would, but for your brows. It's fantastic, and you can see I use it a lot. Like all of the writing on here is saying bye-bye. And now for the final brand, which is Maybelline. I think this is to be expected once again, but these are the Tattoo Studio Smoky Gel Pencils. If you are looking for a fantastic eyeliner pencil, look no further. I would say it's a perfect in-between formula. of the Makeup by Mario one or the Nabla pencil, because you can smoke these out like crazy, or you can create like a really nice sharp eyeliner with them and it won't cause any issues. They also dry matte, but you get a lot of playtime. They're very fuss-free, easy to use and layer. They're super user-friendly, very affordable, and a beautiful, fantastic, beautiful formula. I know I said beautiful twice there, but it deserves the double beautiful. And there we have it. That was my number one favorite product from most brands I own. If you are a YouTuber, I'd love to see this from you. This would be a really cool video for it to kind of circulate around. I also think this would be a cool video to revisit or redo a year from now, just to see how my tastes have changed, what has come out from these brands. It's a fun moment in time kind of video, I think. So that's gonna be it from me today, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of the products I talked about in today's video in the description down below, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.